Well, you talk of acting on behalf of the people, and one of Congress's duty is to serve as a check on the executive. You have oversight responsibilities. Obviously, we've reached somewhat of a loggerhead here, whether it's the Mueller report or their insistence, no documents, no subpoenas, no do-overs. Where do you go from here in your bid to find out what occurred in this administration on behalf of the American people?
Well, there's a lot of pressure on me to impeach, and that is not in the spirit of e pluribus unum. It's a very, very divisive thing to do, and it's not something you do. You don't do it politically. It's not about prejudice against a person. It's not about passion you may have. It's not about politics. It's about the presentation of the facts. And I'm myself concluding that one of the things that is out there now is that people are used to instant gratification. He did this, you did that, boom, where are the keys to the jail? And I'm saying, history will tell that what happened in the next years was a long period of investigation before they did any articles of impeachment, which they never really voted on. They just introduced them. And then the Republicans at that time honored their oath of office to protect and defend the separation of power and the co-equal branch of government. So if you promise not to tell anybody, I'm telling you this.
Is anybody promising?
The other paths, you have not indictments, the subpoenas. So, in order to strengthen your hand in court, you have to show what your purpose is. And so the White House did something highly unregular, even for them. The night before last, they put out a letter saying, you ain't got no rights to do anything. You can't ask us for anything, and this and that. And others basically said, you're the tail of the tadpole will be gone as far as our government is concerned, because it's only about the executive branch. And that's just not, we can't let that stand. In fact, we are Article 1, the first branch of government, we think preeminent. And that the executive branch works for us, as they have to execute what Congress passes, and then they have their own original responsibilities. But so when you go down that path, we don't even have a choice. We have to take an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States. That Constitution has 3 co-equal branches of government, separation of powers, a check and balance on each other, as you indicated. So we can't let them say, you can't do your oversight, and if need be, you can't go on to investigation. They have no right to say that. So who makes the decision? The third branch of government, the court. So this isn't about 2 people then go to court. You have to build your case, and you have to show all that you've done to exhaust every remedy to get your information. So the secret part is that they'll say, as they said in their letter, you don't have any legislative purpose in asking for this information. There's nowhere in the Constitution that says you have to have a legislative purpose, but that's what they said. But there are purposes for getting the information, and one of them is impeachment. Now, you might not impeach, but it is a legitimate reason to ask for the information. And that is something they cannot, and the court cannot deny. It is a purpose of the Congress that's in the Constitution. And that, now, you're not going to go to the court and say, I need this information for impeachment. You say I need it for these 3 or 4 purposes. Any one of them will do, but impeachment is one of them. Another course of action along the way is to have contempt of Congress. Now, you have criminal contempt, you have civil contempt, and then you have inherent contempt. So you have inherent contempt of Congress, and you do not respond to Congress's request, and you're held in contempt, you can be fined and you can be fined every day. And that's hard on some of the people who, I don't know who's going to pay their fines or who's paying their legal fees. But these are, again, having nothing to do with politics, but our oath of office to protect and defend. So we have, there's some things down the road that can be done. And I just think that the Republicans in Congress would honor their oath of office and hold the Republican administration accountable for what they're doing to the Constitution. Which, can you just imagine? Can you just imagine if the Democratic president had done any one of these things? The president, in a sweeping way, saying, "I'm not honoring any subpoenas." Well, Article 3 of the Nixon articles of impeachment, Article 3 was he didn't honor the subpoenas of Congress.